Good morning, day 181. I'm out here a little bit earlier than I have been recently. I got to read a short book this morning. We'll talk about in a minute. Here is the sun over the lake. We've got some trees, beautiful. Still kind of a chilly morning. Not as chilly as it's been though, but enough to still have a little steam rising off the lake. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful sunshiny day. Okay, so I got to read the book of Joel this morning. I'm not sure if I knew there was a book of Joel. I haven't really heard that one quoted before. I think I did know, but again, it's not one that you hear much about, or at least I haven't. But I think it's a worthy one. It's short, but pretty powerful. It's got a lot of imagery in there, a lot of analogy that you could pull from, metaphor. Joel, his main metaphor is the locust, like a plague of locusts coming. And it's really interesting because in the first chapter, he even describes 4 different types of locusts. Swarming. No, wait a minute. That's not the first. Cutting, swarming, hopping, and cutting. Something. Yeah. Anyway, that's not... That's it. We're going to pull on that because I think it's just interesting. And I even did a little research, like, are there really 4 different types of locusts? And I don't know that there really are. And I don't know that that's the point of that. And as far as biblical scholars go, there are lots of people that have gone lots of different directions with this analogy. So then I felt comfortable maybe taking a few liberties on my own as we'll go down that road. But in chapter 4 at the end, there was this description, and I looked up lots of different translations to make sure it was consistent, and it was the valley of decision. They're waiting in the valley of decision. So we've heard about the prophecy of the locusts coming, even being described as God's army. Like those are his armies marching across, destroying. But then, of course, Israel, not all hope is lost, will be restored. There's even a prophecy of Jesus coming and the Holy Spirit being released in the coming days. But then there's this description of the valley of decision. And I thought, oh boy, that's a good line right there. Decisions. And a non-decision is a decision. As a recovering, and this will probably be a lifelong recovery for me, a recovering procrastinator, boy, do I know a lot about this one. And I think we all do. And sometimes and the decision period before you go down a different path, or you choose a different, or even keep on the one you're going, is often the hardest. And you hear people testify and talk about this all the time, especially in the behavior psychology world. The decision period is often the most agonizing. And we can really wind ourselves up or have ourselves so complacent, again, that a non-decision is a decision. And we might be even fully committed and like, yep, I'm all in. We're excited and we charge ahead, and then it's like, boop, something doesn't go right and we're out. So we're not as decided as we thought we were. So even the decision process has some phases, which when I look at the 4 different locusts, I can see, that try again. I mean, the person that is decided and committed I think this is where we get confused. We think a decision means guaranteed 100% success on our first attempt. And again, these unrealistic expectations that we've talked about before. And then we're like, and then when things don't go our way in phase 1, it looks like it's kind of done. We're doing a good job. Something happens, throws us off our game, and we're defeated and we're done. And you don't have to be. Like you just found a new way to not succeed. You got to try again. You got to get in there and keep going. Keep deciding. Deciding the first time is a commitment to keep deciding to go in that direction. Because if we're not committed to that, and even if we've laid all the best plans in the world, and we are, committed, unexpected things happen. We can't foresee everything. And what do? Do you let that throw you off your game, even if you get sidestepped or knocked over, or things didn't quite go the way that you had planned and decided? Do you just dig deeper and go, oh, and maybe and there's all kinds of different things that can happen in the valley of decision. And you might even have started to climb up the mountain out of that valley, and then you get knocked down and you slide back in, and there you are. You've got to decide again. Do I keep trying to go up that mountain? Do I decide it's just too tough and not worth it? And maybe I was, I thought I wanted that thing, but I didn't realize I hadn't really done as much research as I needed to do to find out what that thing required. And then maybe I've got to go back to my brain and my journal and my desires and think, well, what was it about that thing that I thought I wanted? What did I really want? What was behind that? Sometimes we're not really sure until we go down a road a little bit and then we realize. A really common, easy example is even in the fitness world, where we would all love to have those ripped, shredded, six-pack bodies. And we don't realize, a lot of people don't realize, like, in order to look like that and have that low percent of body fat, like, that is a full-time job. That is all those folks do. Like, they give up a lot. They give up a lot of social time, meals. Like, they really have to live a totally different lifestyle, immersed and kind of consumed by that. I know I've got a son who does that, and I watch. And he knows all of that. So he has decided and committed to that. But I've also watched him at times back off of that a little bit because the sacrifice was just too much for a season. So sometimes what you see on the outside or what you think you want, you don't really want it that much. You just want to be fit. And that maybe is something that you can commit to and do. So we've got to even see, what is it that you really want to do with a fit body? What is that going to give you? Or if it's a number on the scale, oh my God, the number on the scale with we women, boy, we can hone in on a specific number and we will beat ourselves up if we even go 1 or 2 pounds off of that. And now I don't do that anymore. I used to, and I can look back at pictures and go, boy, I wish I could look like that again and I was never happy. You're never happy when you are that person that is so fixated on a specific number because you're so obsessed with that and you're missing the bigger picture. And you're not even allowing yourself to enjoy life because you're thinking that number reflects something about you. So be careful with your decisions too. and what's really under them. Can some of us focus on a surface level decision and a goal without really doing the necessary work of what's really under it, and then we can have a real punitive relationship with ourselves. So a decision, the valley of decision. We've got to have clarity, and sometimes it takes going up the wrong mountain and sliding back down and going, oh, do I really want that? Or, yep, I really, really do. I just need to get more prepared. And maybe I've got to get rid of some things in my life, make those sacrifices that I didn't think I would have to make. I thought I could just will my way through it and have my cake and eat it too. There's lots of reasons why we find ourselves in the valley of decision, and for lots of various reasons. And that's a wrestling period. That's important. We see the locusts coming, and and a non-decision is a decision to just wait and see. Wait and see. Maybe those swarm, maybe something will happen and it'll stop, or God will give us favor, even though you see it coming. Or maybe that first wave comes and you're like, it's not as bad as we thought it was going to be. And then the second wave comes. So there's a lot to a decision. Sometimes we think there is that point when you do, like, you know what you know, and whatever comes, I'm sticking with it. But before that comes, there might have been the trial and error, what you needed to go through to get your commitment level where it needs to be. Decision plus 100% commitment, that is where miracles happen, my friend, which are not really miracles. But when we don't fully understand the process and the power that we have, when those two things get lined up in the right direction, and then we see other people that have done it, and it seems like, and they make it look so, quote unquote, so easy. Look, it's like I'm in the jungle right now. I'm going on a longer walk this morning. And anyway, so if you've been in a valley of decision, or maybe you're in one right now, I know for me, one of the things I can really wallow, because I'm a procrastinator, in the valley of decision. And I'm also a withdrawn type with the Enneagram. I know my tendency to stay isolated and withdrawn and not get accountability that I need to stick with the decisions and my commitment, because that way it's easy. Well, if nobody knows, if I don't tell anybody, then maybe, if that time comes, like, I'm really, really decided and I'm really, really committed, but I leave myself a little wiggle room and nobody knows. So that's one of the things I've learned to do now, and that I know that I need to do when I really feel that level of decision and commitment, is to build in things that support me on that. And that way I can't just bail and backslide quite as easily. So know thyself too. You might not be that way. So that's another good part of the decision making, is that you've got to know you and your starting point and your factors in the decision, not just what is that thing going to take to accomplish? Is that what I really want? Do I want to sacrifice all those things? And then look within. Okay, when I really want to do something, what do I need to support myself in this? Anyway, I think I've said enough today. I think the book of Joel, 4 short chapters, powerful nuggets in there, a lot of hope, a lot of warning, danger, warning, but a lot of hope and a lot of power that we have within us in that valley of decision. But you do have to make a decision. And a non-decision is a decision. I let myself kind of think that that wasn't true for a long time. And then I found myself in a position that I was like, wait a minute. Because, especially in the areas of health and fitness, anyway, because at one point in my life, the body that I had operated on autopilot at a certain size. I didn't have to think about these things. I could just do whatever I wanted. I could have my cake and eat it too. And thought that that was just sort of a permanent characteristic of this body. Not so much. Anyway, so wherever you are in a decision process, maybe look at the book of Joel for some inspiration and help, and meditate with God and pray over that. All right, my friends, have a great, it's Thursday today. Or whatever day of the week it is for you, whatever year, whatever season, go make it a great day. You do have the power, the decision power, to decide and make it happen. All right, bye.